$1 million for him to fix the high school. I got to pay $30 million for a wastewater treatment plant.
No argument from us.
I've already sat here and been called stupid by people who said, why are you going to waste money building a park when you have other needs?
Absolutely. And you've never heard us coming to you and say, where's our park?
Right.
We
right.
understand.
I mean, we're all right. We're all correct. I just have to figure out from my perspective, my one vote, what I can sleep on at night.
Sure.
And that's the way I live my life. I'm going home and I'm going to sleep well tonight because I feel like I made the right decision.
Absolutely. I just think the only person that can really answer the tweaking question or how far we can push it is the people controlling the money, and that's VDOT.
Is VDOT.
So if you all would love to see more of the money go towards the museum, so would we.
Well,
but
that's kind of what
I can't tell you whether you can put a new roof on as part of this or not, but he can. VDOT guy can. I can't tell you whether you can take that plywood off the old jail. He can.
Well, I mean, I think we're going to say, for me, I'm going to vote to move forward, but not necessarily with what the original plan was, but the original plan modified to include the new components that we've recently, discovered.
Absolutely. Sorry.
So that's kind of where I am. Is my street still flooded?
Just one other question, kind of a budget question. Mr. Mayor, I think I may have mentioned it to you one time before. Does the town have any contributions that maybe they can help us with?
Well, we gave you that $500 for the insurance. No.
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Roselle, that was discussed at our meeting last Thursday. And that was intentionally not a part of the motion for me to bring here to you tonight. But I can tell you there were several members of council that discussed stepping forward and contributing to the project, to the museum. So I think there is some consensus or discussion on council to contribute because this is in our town and it is a benefit to us. So, but it was specifically not a part of our motion, and it was a part of the request. Did we want it and were we willing to contribute? And the motion was made by Mr. Cutterman and passed unanimously because we initially felt like the original question was, do y'all want this? It seems like Bowling Green doesn't want it. Yes, we want it, but we don't feel like we need to pay any more for something that was already intended for us in this original concept. Now, as things move ahead, there was plenty of discussion at that meeting, but the person that made the motion wasn't willing to change his motion, but there was plenty of discussion at our meeting about our responsibility in contributing. Now, is that an answer, a dollar amount? No, but it shows you the will of council, I hope.
All right, further discussion.
Call the question, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I think we've defined tweak, right? We're going to take my definition of tweak?
No, I don't know that I heard your definition of tweak. I thought we defined.
Oh, that was what we were just discussing with Mr. Mayor. We are going to look at modifying the scope of the park to include the latest asset the county has, which would be the museum, and to investigate how much of that money could be used for structural repairs and or parking lot changes. Is that fair? That's not even on the edge.
I don't know that that's fair because it may be determined that there's $200,000 needs to be done for the business, to that building. And I don't know that we're going to be able to do anything else with the park itself. I mean, the intent was, I thought, was to certainly improve, no reflection on the town of Bowling Green and town council, but improve the appearance of at least the area that we owned, that we dealt with in the town of Bowling Green. And I'm not willing to spend $200,000 on the Commissioner of Revenue's office for a museum. No, I'm not willing to do that myself. So if that's what we're talking about tweaking, then my vote's a no in moving ahead. But if we're talking about tweaking in the sense of making it safe and making it so it doesn't based on these numbers that were given us by staff here, then yeah, I'm fine with tweaking. But it's also been said we can apply for another grant,
You made the motion.
another $75,000 or what have you. So,
We're gonna let Mr. Seeley, since he made the motion, define tweaking.
I'm not sure I'm willing to take his
Well,
tweaking definition.
and the real
made the
problem.
motion. It's his motion.
And I mean, we have a grant application that the mayor has in his hands.
Yes.
And as Mr. Rozell pointed out, the parking was gonna be 90,000, 100,000, whatever.
That's correct.
And that was gonna get spent. The other 450 was a bonus because we actually got that as a grant to do the rest of the facility around that needs work. Now, I know, and Mr. Popowitz pointed out months ago, that there is some damage being done to the commissioner's old office based on foundational issues and some other stuff that was done, and maybe from the parking lot situation, being paved up to the building and that kind. If that can be repaired in this grant to stabilize that building, I think we need to do some due diligence in that and saying, we need to make those repairs and at least stabilize it and stop the moisture problem to that point. Because that takes you at least down the road some. And it does give the museum some, and it gives the park some, and it gives the county the needed parking places. And I guess that's where I'm at with the motion, is I think I made it. And Mr. Popowitz, Bob, you can correct me, I think that's where we were.
Yeah, I think
Second tweaking.
my intent, I think that so I'm trying to understand what my intent is, that we do look at the museum building itself. I think we're going to have to get some definitions to the state to allow us to do that, and this is my humble experience in some of these projects. Anything that deals with site construction itself is going to be more expensive than doing some of these other things we're talking about anyway. So if we change some of our thinking on the park itself and how because it is a concept, maybe we can tweak that concept some, save a little bit here, put it into the building. That's what I'm kind of looking at.
I have no problem, and that's what we talked about
Yes.
earlier, the $75,000. I don't want to have to go, to be honest with you, I don't want to go make another grant for $75,000, and then we're going to have to come up with 25% of that and 20% of that number. I'm not willing to put any more into it, is what I'm saying, than what we've already put into it.
Yeah, I don't think
Got $500,000, we can use that, but that's it. No more, as far as I'm concerned.
No change orders?
No change orders.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I could get a little clarification.
I don't know.
There's a fine tuning in the in-kind match. I have not gotten information back from VDOT. If it should turn out that our lease value can be used as a match for the museum.
Dollar isn't much.
I think we would have to look at that, and perhaps
Mr. Wilson.
it would be waived so you could actually have a larger amount.
What part of no more did you not understand?
I just wanted you,
No,
Mr. Chairman, to have all the options in front
No
of you.
more
sir.
means no more.
All right, sir.
That means zero. That means zero.
Okay.
Okay.
You know there's always a number after the last number.
Nothing.
Numbers go to infinity. There's always more.
Zero, as
There's
far as
always
my
more.
vote is concerned, it's zero and any more money on this project. As far as my vote is concerned. All right, further discussion.
We define tweak?
All in
I'm
favor?
taking Bobby's tweak.
I went.
You know, tell the truth.
We don't even remember what tweak was.
Right.
I'm glad it's videotaped.
Well, we'll throw that tape away. I mean, we're going to have tweaking the way we want tweaking to be.
Before we go further, can we use our motion? Is it thoroughly enough to define?
Oh, you're asking Ann?
Yes.
We'll see how much attention she was paying.
I was paying attention.
What's the
and I
legal
think-
definition of tweak?
Well, I think, I mean, it's Mr. Seeley's motion, and so he, I think, explained what he was talking about as far as the parking, and then some structural portion of the Commissioner of Revenue's office. As I heard Mr. Popowitz then spoke also about the structural components, and so as long as Mr. Seeley, I think, is comfortable with how Mr. Popowitz has expanded upon his motion, it will
Call
have
the
to-
question, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Seeley's comfortable. Okay.
You're comfortable with Seeley?
Okay.
I've pretty much outlined the structural things.
He's
that I
comfortable.
think
You
we're
said
gonna
enough,
get away
Jeff. You
with.
said enough. That's good. Let's vote. You said enough.
Yeah.
Let's
Go
vote.
ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, we've called the
No, I
question.
won't-
Under parliamentary procedure, the
I
question
won't
has been
let
called,
you
Mr.
further
Chairman.
explain.
The question has been
Mr.
called.
Seeley.
Continue with
What
parliamentary
you said.
procedure and all.
Mr. Seeley.
I'll take the gavel. All those in favor say
Mr.
aye.
Seeley?
I truly believe that we're gonna hit the wall with the back of that building, with VDOT.
Oh, okay. Okay, you think we're gonna hit VDOT with the back of that building?
I mean, I think that's where we're gonna be, and I think
This
we
is,
can
this
make
is
the
just
case for
extraneous
those.
discussion. This has nothing to do with the
No, I think
motion.
we make-
We've already,
Part of the motion.
I mean, I think I explained this the last time I made the motion. I don't know how many more times to explain it. Can we roll the tape back?
Don't let Mr. Popowitz add to it, just let.
he
All right.
said exactly. They said structure. The lawyer said structure. Mr. Is there a parliamentarian or do I have to be that too? The question has been
You're
called.
exactly correct.
It's time to vote on the question. Mr. Chairman, would you proceed with your purpose, please?
Mr. Thomas Yoder, or be quiet.
No, I'm not out of
Be quiet.
order.
Just hold
I'm
what
not
you
out of
gotta
order.
say.
We have called the question.
Yes.
It's time to vote.
But
If there is still a question as to the scope of what
Absolutely.
Mr. Seeley's motion is,
Absolutely.
I think everybody has to be.
Nobody
clear
has
what
a
they're voting
question.
on.
That's right.
We've already, we understood
Mr.
it.
Seeley.
He said structure.
Mr. Thomas, you're only delaying the meeting. Now, if you'll just be quiet a minute and let him explain, we can get the meeting over with and we can all go home.
I don't have
in the
anywhere to
weather.
go.
Well, I do.
I'm here to protect
Well, I
the
do.
citizens
Me too.
all night, so let's do it.
That's what I'm here.
Call
I'm
the
not here
question,
just to
Mr.
protect one area.
Chairman. Jeff, do
The
you have
entire
any?
county.
Jackie's already said he's good. You good?
Yeah.
I
Yes or
just
no?
don't want there to be the ambiguity I think that there is at this point.
I'll agree, Mr. Seeley. Go ahead.
And all I want to do is make sure that we're,
You said structural.
I said structural, and
And
I
you
said,
said structural.
and I said.
And she said structural. Can we go now? Wayne, would you stop holding us up? Can we go now?
And I gotta make sure Bobby and I are we both agree the back of the building's got issues due to some water, wherever it's coming from.
Yes.
And those things need to be addressed as we're doing this, because we're gonna be there.
Yeah,
Right.
the front
Before you
facade.
tear that up, while you have that torn up, that is the time to address those issues.
And theoretically,
Will you
those,
limit-
those same issues could be in the front, which would affect those columns.
And
'cause that would
as,
be part of it.
but as we've heard, that though, as you start going around the building, those become more expensive. And I want to make sure we cover what we have to and incorporate the things that Grant was originally intended for, was to get the parking, as Mr. Rozelle, and thank you for making that clear. That gets taken care of. So I think that for what we can cover in that building on the back side, in that structural situation that's been caused by water from whatever.
So you've defined it to the back side of the building. Next
think
to the
we
park.
have to.
Right, next to the park, I understand. That's
What
fine.
about the other side?
And that is fine. That's the interpretation that we're going to have of this motion.
That's what's gonna
Now,
happen in the east.
part of the,
Let's just start taking.
the committee, the county administrator is going to be the chairman of the committee. Okay? All right, Mr.
And
Seeley, we've heard you.
Mr. Chairman, I wouldn't mind being on the committee if that's all right.
Oh, I don't know, we have county staff, and we have
Okay,
the
fine.
sheriff's office, we have town council. The mayor's going to be, or either the,
Mr. Mayor, are you going to be on that?
Mr. Mansler's going to be on that? Okay, so let's just leave it to the
Okay.
staff. You'll certainly have input, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you
We'll go
can, you
with
can
that.
further define
All
tweak
right.
as we go along. I'm happy, Mr. Chairman. We can.
Well, good.
Oh, now you're
But
happy?
I'll be happy now
Now-
because it is confined to the rear of the building, to the back of the building, to the parking, to where the, any improvements to the back of the building that the park will be up against. and
But
including
under the
parking lot.
conceptual plan, it goes around to the front,
Mr.
to the
Popowitz, how
side.
do you vote?
I'll vote aye.
Mr. Thomas, how do you vote?
I'm voting around the side, and we're
Mr.
gonna keep
Thomas, how do
going.
you-
I vote aye to around the
Okay.
side and keep
All right.
going.
That's not what the motion is.
That's what I'm voting.
I vote aye.
All right, Mr. Rozelle?
Mr. Chairman.
And I vote aye as well. The
Oh, no.
motion's carried. 5-0. 5-0. It's 5-0.
Just so that the
Thank you,
clerk
sir.
can,
Mr. Mayor, you know what, thank you, what the motion said, right? Major, I wasn't, I saw your hand over there. If you've got something to say now, you're welcome to say it, but I didn't, it was discussion among the board
You've
members.
included us on the committee, and I think that whole park has a direct impact on the sheriff's office,
Absolutely.
over and above anyone else, for court security and the judge's security.
And you're going to be on that
And we're
committee?
going to be on the committee, so that should resolve that issue. I thank you for
Thank you.
pointing that out.
Appreciate it. All right. Closing board minutes. Mr. Popowitz?
I have none.
Mr. Thomas?
We were going to decide on the December meeting.
December 1st?
That's right.
December 1st?
December 1st.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
That's a Tuesday, okay.
Yes.
Okay. December 1st.
Does the board have a problem with the meeting on, changing the meeting from the, what?
8th to the 1st.
to the 1st.
What's wrong?
What?
My concern is just from staff, you have it on the first, we're closed on
Oh, you're right.
Thanksgiving, the day after the next board meeting, we're closed half a day. And then we would come to work on Monday, the 30th, and then Tuesday, the first board meeting.
Yeah.
Can't much time to happen.
I would think it's going to be a small meeting, I mean, a small board agenda.
It makes it real small.
Huh? I mean,
It's not. There are some critical,
You want to do it the 15th? Is that getting too close to
Now you're-
Christmas?
I mean, we
Now
can do, I mean, we can do it the first, we're just gonna have to work the holiday, that's all. If
How
that's
about-
what you agree.
How about the 3rd, which is Thursday?
no, 3rd
That's
December's
better.
fine with me.
Okay.
That's obviously better.
The next week I'm out
Wait a
of
minute,
town the
no.
next week.
At your senior citizens,
Yeah.
Oh.
at your
Yeah.
gala.
I'm actually out of town at the week of the 7th.
I am as well, I'll leave on that Monday.
That whole week of the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, I'll bet there is something every night of the week.
The senior citizen, how about, okay, the 2nd, Wednesday? That's church day.
I won't be here. I'll be with you. Just-
Box that day.
What day?
The 8th. Box.
For what?
All of them.
For the board meeting? All right.
We'll get it done.
I have a question.
We'll get it done.
Since it is only basically one day, 1.5 days from when you're gonna have the next meeting, why can we not start earlier in the day on the 24th
And do everything?
and not meet in December? It's only, you only have a business of one day.
You're right.
I mean, we meet on the 24th, the 25th is a half a day, a holiday, 26th and 27th is a holiday, the 30th is a Monday, and you come back on that Tuesday.
Mr. Chairman, we voted to have a public hearing on the first meeting in December.
Well, we can change, vote again, we can change the date.
We haven't advertised it. We can-
No, we haven't,
have
that's
staff
the first time we changed the motion.
Is there enough time? There's not
You have
enough
another
time.
public hearing?
There's not enough time between now and the 24th to advertise. You couldn't. Yeah, there's not 2 weeks of advertising dates for when to do it.
What is a public hearing?
Thought you had another one though. Mike, didn't you have another one? Possibly?
Yeah, we may also have a rezoning for a business, prospect.
Okay, the first is the only open date,
Or the 2nd.
second is not available.
Oh.
Nobody wants to go to the week of the 14th? That's
Pardon?
I just need to look. I can't sit here right now. I know that this week has got a ton of stuff in
Yeah.
it. And you work backwards from, I mean, our own Christmas party is the 16th or the 17th? 16th?
Yeah, we haven't tied that down just yet, but I believe that's right.
Because I think the town gave us the town hall.
Yeah.
Mr. Manster?
Yeah, they get it.
16th for the town, or for the county Christmas party?
Take our 80 days we want. We can come in and work.
All right,
Come on Sunday.
we're gonna have it on the second.
We'll get it.
Board meeting will be at 6 o'clock on the second, start,
Okay.
December.
You mean the first?
I'm the first.
December 1st.
So,
December first.
What you talked
Tuesday,
about
December first.
originally, December 1st, too.
Okay. Need a motion?
Yeah, let's have a motion.
Make a motion that we have our summer meeting on December 1st.
second.
Motion made by Mr. Popovich, seconded by Mr. Thomas. Discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion's carried. All right, Mr. Thomas, any other comments?
That was the only thing I had, Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
Thank you very
Seeley?
much.
No, sir.
Mr. Rozell? No, sir. The only thing that I wanted to bring to the board's attention, some of us know this gentleman better than others. Mr. Rozell, you probably know him, Mr. Thomas, you probably. Jack Miller from Middlesex County. Has been a board member in Middlesex County for many years and still is. He was elected Secretary Treasurer of VACO on last week, or this week rather. However, Monday morning, I guess it was, Tuesday morning, or Monday night, he was taken ill with his heart, and they had to come in and helicopter him out Tuesday morning and took him to Roanoke, and so he's in the hospital in Roanoke, and if you would, can we get a card to send to Jack Miller from the board? He has had heart problems. In fact, only about 30 or 40% of his heart is functioning. And at the nominating committee meeting we had Sunday evening, Monday evening, he felt a jolt from his defibrillator, and it just threw him into almost cardiac arrest, really. And so but he is sitting up. I talked with the people down there today, and he is sitting up in a chair, and his wife and daughter driven to Roanoke County and to be with him. Also received a, Mr. Ashcraft, I'm going to give this to you. What? Yeah, it's basically a statement of support from the Guard and Reserve that Caroline County does meet all of the requirements when National Guard people go to service and come back. We do provide them protection and safeguard for their jobs and all the other services that are provided. And this is just basically a certificate that shows that, so people coming in know that the board is a supporter of National Guard and the Reserve units in Virginia. So we will, I'll give this to you for that. Okay? That's it? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
What?
Want some information up there?
What do you have? I thought we'd had, but all we could have for one night.
Mr. Chairman, weather update. This is particularly important to the mayor and Mr. Thomas. High water issues on Milford Street may make that impassable. So I don't know what you're going to face when you go home, but they're also addressing Easter Seals Drive in Sparta at this hour. VDOT officials are on the scene. And there was also reported that 71 customers are without electricity in the Guinea Station area.
Oh.
Mr. Popowitz, I'm not.
Can you check your phone?
Just a couple more. Mr. Chairman, you have
I don't want to hear it.
2 meetings, community meetings next week.
Yes, Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday. Monday is at the Ladysmith Fire Department. Tuesday is at Lake Caroline. Both
Yes.
of those meetings begin at 7 p.m. And Mr. Rozell, you have a community meeting at 7 o'clock at the Dawn Community Center, and staff will be there to assist all 3 of those meetings. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second?
Who's gonna give me a ride home?
Motion made by Mr. Popowitz, seconded by Mr. Seeley. Discussion? All in
I
favor,
believe-
aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion's carried. Meeting is adjourned.
I believe in stepping on the gas before you hit something.
All right, see you, Max.
All right, you going to work, Max? You going to work?